So, I just want to say to the crooked cops that think that they can scare me because they're worried that the world is going to find out that they're a piece of shit that are taking bribes to help organ and drug trafficking through cults and covens and gangs, and it's covering up thefts, burglaries, murders, transporting bodies across state lines in the back of police-issued vehicles while in uniform, and knowing that the witches have some way to make it look like the bodies have long been decomposed or overdosed and homeless, when in fact they were somebody who had their throat slit at a river. So sorry that you don't want the world to find out that you were a part of IP hacking or covering up for gang rapes for someone that was drugged unconscious and then dumped off on their doorstep or buried alive and left for dead. And then you're so butthurt that I'm still alive and still smiling and not intimidated by your tactics or your gangs or your cults or your covens, because again, there's only one gang, and that's the gang of heaven, because the devil can't beat heaven, bro. Can't beat God. Never could, never would, can't, never could. Not even in this 3D realm, not in any other realm, not in any time dimension. Not many, how many spells you cast, whether it's smoke magic, moon magic, blood magic, Ouija board magic, poison magic, illusion magic. Doesn't matter what you do, bro. You can eat a million bodies if you want to. You can, like I said, use mirrors magic. You can try to time jump. You can do all these things you want to do. You can try to destiny swap. You can try to clone. You can try to do all this shit you've been doing. But guess what? Jig is up, bro. The people that needed to know. The world knows, and you know. You knew from jump that there's not all money is good money. And that blowjob that fucking raggedy bitch gave you, it really wasn't that good. She's not that good. There's way better bitches that give head. And if you've seen what you look like without the spells, bro, if you knew that she was a dirty birdie that had AIDS and maggots in her kuka, would you still be going there and still be thinking you was big pimpin' police chief or big pimpin' police cop or crooked FBI or corrupt judge? I wonder. Oh, and the other day when I was talking about the organ transplanting and using Serafini and also to a bunch of magic. So there's literally witches and warlocks that can control the weather, that can literally drive around an area and slow down time, that can slow down the light to dark, the clouds to rain, all that jazz. It sounds far-fetched, but it's totally true, especially if they're using the innocent energy and the purity. Another vague way they get all around these crimes is to, like I said, to transport consciousness out or use illusion magic so they can like break into a house, kill somebody, steal all their jewelry and possessions, and then also steal their consciousness out of them, place them in an animal or somewhere else while taking over their body and going and pawning those things so it looks like the person that's pawning them is actually the person that's possessed them or owned them, rightfully so, but they're in fact not. And then, again, they can trick you into doing these crimes, committing these crimes by drugging you and wiping your memory so you don't even get your cut that you're supposed to, because these devils and demonic entities and witches are so fucking greedy, they definitely ain't sharing, bro. They definitely ain't sharing. But just so you know that now that the veil has been broken and the not just the powers that be in the 3D, but the God and the witches, Hecate, is coming to drag the fucking devil to where he belongs, straight to hell. And anybody who works with them, all these false cults, false churches, false prophets who are acting like they're in touch with God, these divination fucking people that are using tarot, thinking that they're talking to God or they're gifted, but they're not. They're talking to demons, and they're using chipped programming to make it look like they're got power, but in fact, or another thing recently is big on YouTube is all these animal videos where animals are acting human-like, where or they're like being abusive to their babies, because that's a big part of this fucking cults and covens, is that they are abusive to children. They are fucking rapists. They can literally turn into birds and rape baby birds, but in fact they're humans who parents have sacrificed them and signed them over. And if they're not raping them in animal form, they're raping them in pure child form. And again, people are standing around watching this shit. I will say this, that the one of the many murders that these people have committed was somebody who, well, again, and now that I know what I know, I'm not even entirely sure that this person had a natural terminal illness. But apparently, again, this person volunteered to be sacrificed because he was terminally ill and suffering. But that doesn't make it right. Again, you don't get to be Dr. fucking Kevorkian. You don't get to play God and decide who lives and dies and to harness that energy or that soul power to feed your fucking black hole sun demon whatever. You fucking, I don't even know what it's called because I'm not a part of that world. And again, I'm a rider. Like, I was a ride or die girl. But again, there's some shit that just you don't ride for, bro. I don't care who you are. I don't care what it is. Rape, murder, robbing pure innocent people, and then thinking that you can fucking just take over the world and get over on it forever, and then bind these people in these demonic contracts, or drugging and fucking, like I said, raping and robbing, burying people alive, killing, poisoning people repeatedly. I'm so sorry. But I am a ride or die girl. I will ride or die for God, and I will stand 10 toes down, and I will, again, this is shit, again, you're not even letting people know what the fuck they're really signing up for. Like, you're using their minds, their love for their family or their partner against them to trap them in these fucking NDAs or these blood oaths, okay? But again, you can't sell your soul because it belongs to God, first of all. Second of all, you have to be honest. You have to put up front what the fuck the contract is. You can't use these false fucking traps and trickeries and then think that you're going to get away with it, or that these people are bound, because anything under duress or false context and construct is automatically void, bro. So and again, I speak and walk with God. So all these motherfuckers, excuse my language, who thought they got away with it, and again, I mentioned Serafini the other day, and UHS, but I forgot about Guthrie. That's another big part of this human organ trafficking and drug trafficking. A big part of the illusion magic is their ability to make themselves look younger or look completely different. Like, you can be a freaking, like right now I'm me at 40-year-old Brianna, but I've also been like 6-year-old little boy. I've been a 40-year-old black man. I've been a 50-year-old old white woman. I've been an Asian dude. I've been standing next to somebody that's had their throat slit. They're fucking been shot in the head, thrown in a river, buried alive myself, gang raped. And again, these people record. I don't know how the fuck they are so delulu, bro, that you record shit, that there's a digital footprint. It doesn't matter what you delete. It's in the cloud. There's nothing that you can delete and be gone, even with the best fucking hacker, bro. And again, you can't, even if you got people, and again, I was threatened, they made music videos to try to, where they put me into a body. And I was going around telling the world, like in the music video, okay, where I'm telling people, trying to explain about these murders and these rapes of children and myself. And everybody's like looking at me like I'm crazy, or either ignoring me. So throughout the video, I'm like going crazy, because I'm like, so eventually you just either give up or you kill yourself. And they think it's funny. Like, they think it's funny, and then they put the shit on you. Or there's another music video where they literally are trying to show, because again, there's a different magic where, like, there's water magic, okay? There's ancient gods or entities that are spiritual and in the water that can impregnate you without your awareness, especially if somebody sacrifices you. So, like, your friend will bring you and their child to the water, and if they couldn't get you in the water, then this bitch goes in the water with her son, and now she's pregnant, but her child, it's incestual. And again, it has to do with magic and ancient, like, again, it sounds weird, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. It's really happened. These people think that nobody's going to find out, and they They think that their crooked cops or judges are going to protect them forever, or that the devil can even protect them. But there's some things that the devil can't control. God never loses. And again, these weak-ass fake witches and these fake cult leaders and these fake churches and these false prophets, when you got a real prophet and a real one, and that really walked with God, that really is the oracle of truth, bro, you're done. You're done. You're done. It was all a test. And again, these time loops and shit, this is all this stuff has happened multiple times. Multiple times, because God is such a good father. He's such a good father. He gives you umpteen chances, so many chances to change, because everything you do is a choice. So at any time you could have stopped, you could have spoke up, you could have done the right thing, but you didn't. You didn't. And again, even before I knew I was working with God or rocking with God, I was going. This is a little dark and crazy, what I'm talking about today, so I probably should write a disclaimer in the video or something. But, like, let me tell you, I went through a phase, okay, where I was self-mutilating. I was, like, slicing my face up with razors, my arms, my body, again, because I didn't know how to handle it. Because, one, at the time, too, I was in active addiction. And again, worse than active addiction, be it pot or any other drug, I was addicted to people. I was addicted to relationships with my family, with my friends, with my ex-partners, okay? And again, I felt like, also too, that I couldn't understand, because again, that's not who I was as a person. So when I was in these situations or these things, even though I was drugged out of my mind and under heavy spell work, when I was aware of it, like, I could not comprehend and process how even any amount of drug or spell work could make me sit back and watch these things. And luckily, I learned, too, that I was not part of it. Even when I was there, bro, I was not laughing like these people were laughing. I was not participating like these people were participating. And the reason why I survived all these things and I got through the way I got through is because every time I went within and I went above, I talked to God. I'm like, God, this is crazy, bro. No, absolutely not. This is not who I am. I was in situations, again, where I walked in and I caught somebody eating human meat, okay? And again, I had been transported out of my body and put into another body, so even my outside didn't look like me. And I was trapped and this person had billions of dollars, security, everything. I was stuck. And I remembered being in just like in the dark, in the shower, just because, and again, they were sacrificing children and animals. And again, I knew I was fucking cooked. I was cooked. How was I going to get out of this? And so I remember just being like trying to hide in the bathroom and take a shower in the dark, because again, I was too much. I didn't even want to see what was around me. I just remember rocking, sitting in the shower, crying to God, and a man appeared. A man appeared dressed in all black. And again, when you think of angels and you think of wings and light, this dude was dressed in all black with a ball cap, and he just scooped me up in his arms, bro, and he got me out of there. And I remember talking to God, and again, I was up, not on earth. I was up in heaven. Again, I remember being shot and being left for dead in the dirt. And I remember waking up in the hospital bed and being like, oh my God, Jesus is real. Jesus is real. I got to heaven, bro. Everybody was in mansions. Everybody was so welcoming. They already knew who I was. Like, they were expecting me, like the family that I never had on earth. It was the most beautiful thing. And I was like, I remember saying to the people around me, like, I want to go back. I don't want to be here. I don't want to know the stuff that I know or feel the stuff that I feel, because how do you feel all that? I remember, I remember so much, and it's so crazy. But the funny thing is, well, it's not funny, it's kind of sad, because a lot of this stuff that I remember or I lived through, Hollywood movie producers couldn't write the scripts on this shit, okay? And again, I am so thankful to God, number one, and his angels and my ancestors for bringing me through all these things, because I definitely couldn't have done it alone. But I am so proud of me, because what a strength that has to take to be able, and again, to let go of the toxic relationships and friends, to be able to stop hurting myself and to allow real healing, to be able to process all of that stuff and to stop using drugs, to stop using pot, meth, alcohol, people, and to each day just literally to use the book, to use God, to use the Bible, to open it up, and just anytime I need an answer, he's right there. Anytime, again, big journaling is a huge part of that. And again, not being able to, the biggest important thing is to speak up, to trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust your memory. Even though human bodies and flesh and minds are fallible, like, there's just some shit you can't make up. Even in dreams, even on drugs, you just couldn't make it up. So again, journal it, write it down. If something don't feel right or you don't, or deja vu is a thing for a reason, okay? And again, if you're around people that are putting poisons or spell work and drugs on you or in your food, you might not even be aware of it, because even in the Bible it says the people who are the ones that are going to hurt you the most are going to be in your family. It's going to be your friends. That's how that devil uses the most people you trust the most. Even in the Bible, if you look at it, I just heard this preacher say, and again, it was thought to flick on, because, and I have always said this about the government, okay, about the reason they want to separate the family and the what welfare and abortion had done is, and the women getting the right to vote and the right to work was because they were short, like half the population of taxable income. And then when the wars happened and all the men were at war fighting, who was going to work in the factories? So they needed to pretend to liberate the woman, right? Oh, we're giving you free work, free vote. Well, you can't work if you're pregnant, so now we have to legalize abortion. So because again, and now we got the dad out of the home at war, we can kill him. We got the mom at work, we got the children isolated, and the devil uses this, the government uses this to break down the strength of the family's empire, of the bloodlines. And the same as in the devil. So in the Bible, from the very beginning, when Adam was alone, before there was Eve, or if you believe in Lilith, before there was Lilith or Eve, okay, when Adam was just Adam, the devil was not around. He always used Eve as the attack to break down the relationship, to break down the family. The same with the kings, that they always attacked the children. They knew that that's where the power and the future was. Even squirrels, okay? I just learned, not like 10 years ago, okay? So there's gray squirrels, there's black squirrels, there's red squirrels. Who knew squirrels were so diverse? I knew flying squirrels, but at first I even thought that was like a cartoony thing, because they're always showing them like flying and stuff, but they're real animals. But so are red and black squirrels. And now gray squirrels are really like kind of dicks, and they're curious, and they literally fuck with people's houses, and they just tear your stuff up and your garbage up for no reason, just because. Like little delinquents. Black squirrels don't really tend to be like in the people's houses or garbage and such. Red squirrels are like the devils, bro. Okay, there's the devils. They're ruthless, they're savage, and they are smart, because if a red squirrel comes around another male squirrel of the gray or black variety, they will castrate them. I'm talking rip his nuts out so he can't reproduce, and then steal his bitches. And so they can't grow the empire, can't carry on the bloodline. They take over the family to keep the power within the red breed. And again, so this is just like a lot to process, so I'll end the video here. But again, just because it's a lot to process and it sounds like crazy far-fetched, it doesn't mean it's not true. So look into it and look into yourself and look above.